has been a minute. I'm just gonna turn the fridge, make sure the fridge doesn't start refrigerating. Oh. Hey. Using a different surface. What's the book news? Also, it's been just quite the conundrum sometimes tuning this. Sometimes the G string was somewhat off topic, although part of the realm of topics, but sometimes it just doesn't. But yeah, waiting for the book. Oh my goodness. Hardly even recognized with that new profile picture. But things are always changing, I guess. Okay. Have you seen the movie Sinners? Okay, this has been brought up now a couple times. There's a friend who I went to, who I kind of have known, someone who I've known for a long time, who suggested that. Someone else mentioned it, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was mentioned in May and June. Now July makes 3 months in a row, but have not seen it. Anyways, that was some apologies. That context may have not been necessary at all. But anyhow, how is the movie? Kind of have not really been keeping up with movies lately, then combined with the possibility that those kinds of movies can be a bit maybe misaligned. Wasn't sure about it, but you can. Oh, this is gonna be pretty rough. You can smoke it, you can toke it, you can smear it on the wall, pass it over and grab it for a fall. You can toast it, you can roast it, you can marinate and bake it. Any way you want it, you can come and take it. That's my job. The nice road, I'll get it even if I've gotta crawl. Everybody's got a jelly roll like mine. We'll drive across just to get it. Moonlight across it. Just love that jelly. Please, baby, don't you let it fall. You can switch it, you can grab it, you can ring it, you can twist it. Don't wait too long, otherwise you'll wake up and miss it. You can just love the jelly barrel. Pretty baby, will let it. Don't make me crawl. If they were in their right mind, they'd say, blue all the time. It is the best jelly roll in town. I know, 'cause I've been around about that jelly. Please don't ever let it fall. Turn the page. A couple more. Or some chunks here. You can heat it, you can freeze it, you can later let it thaw. Add some cream and sugar and decide to have it raw. You can mash it, you can dash it. And you can stash it about the jelly. I'll get it even if I gotta crawl. Everybody's got a jelly roll like mine. I fooled around just for that best. All for the jelly roll. You can break it, you can buy it, you can sample it just to try it. You can shake it, you can mix it, you can, for breakfast you can fix it. Just love the jelly, the roll. When I'm in the jelly roll state of mind, it's such a cheery time. It's the best jelly roll. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Talking about that jelly, that roll. Sweet baby, don't you let it fall. Let's see, Buddy Guy going out of order, or well, I don't know what. But yeah, we'll have to watch Sinners and we'll let you know. And still getting used to the new profile pic. It's kind of, So my aunt went to America, got me a book called Blues. From pre-war to later on when Kevin Young. Nice, nice. Good to hear, as reading can be a good thing to do. Recently purchased this, we'll just mention this book and then we'll try and continue. Got beneath. I don't know if this is reversed, but beneath the underdog, Charles Mingus. Which apparently is kind of a whole hoot or something. So Charles was having a very full musical life, what with the school orchestra, studying with Callender, Red Callender, I would imagine, as the Red Callender book mentions this sort of event. And Reese, playing what gigs they could get with Colette, the Union Swing Band, and using any leftover hours to practice and compose at home. But today may not be so long because I have to get to hit the old sack at some point. But was thinking that it could be an enjoyable endeavor and maybe a practical endeavor to maybe go over some Jelly Roll Morton songs or even there's this W.C. Handy song, Moonlight Blues, that could be maybe worth opening up in MuseScore and just kind of going over some things. And then maybe trying to set up some like guitar arrangements or something, and could go through. Everyone can sort of maybe get something from it, or hopefully. And then maybe some additional transcriptions. So some arrangements, and then which may include like transcribing the bass line and then the melody and things like that, and then some actual transcriptions, maybe with like of even some more chordal sorts of things. I was thinking, although it would be a very difficult, although it would be a bit of an intimidating one, like there's this recording of Lush Life with Joe Pass, which could see how something like that would go. But for now, let's all just talk. And also, so these are sort of been doing sort of the same tunes for a while, so but hopefully some new ones could get added through activities such as those. But for now, we'll just continue with some of the old tunes. I that evening sun go down. It makes me feel like I'm on my last go round. Feeling tomorrow like I'm feeling today. Oh, feeling tomorrow like I'm feeling today. I'm gonna pack my trunk and make my getaway. St. Louis woman with her diamond ring. She pulls that man around by that apron string. If it was not for the body and that store-bought hair, that man I'm loving would not come nowhere. Now those St. Louis blues, just as blue as I can be. That man's got a heart like a rock in the deep blue sea. Early out here would not think so of me. Like a love, and I'm old like a dove. I will like a love, and I'm old like a dove. Singing life ain't worth living if you ain't with the one you love. Give me a pig foot and a bottle of beer. I'm used to playing There is this need a little sugar in my bowl, need a little hot between my rolls. I can stand a little loving, oh so bad. I feel so blue, I feel so sad. Move your finger. It was late at night. Everything was still. It was late at night. Everything was still. But I thought I spotted hill. If I could holler like a mountain giant, if I could holler like a mountain giant, I would climb the tallest mountain and call for my baby back. Trying to remember. Oh. The more you cry, the more I'm leaving tomorrow. Crying won't make me stay. I'm leaving tomorrow. Crying won't make me stay. The more you cry, the more it drives me away. Thanks. That lake that is on the we'll take the opportunity now that it's been presented, but that lake is the lake that's kind of the town is on here, or built north, slightly on the shore of, so. Make me down, I put it on your floor. Make me down, I put it on your floor. Make me down, I'll put it on your floor. That put it on your floor. I need some money to get my suit out of pawn. I need some money to get my suit out of pawn. I need some money to get my suit out of pawn. And if you don't help me, you'll ruin me ever was born. Road whiskey and I was a diamond dust. If the river was and I was a diving dust, I would dive to the bottom and I'd never come up. If the river was and I was a diving dust, I'm gonna put won't be back till fall. I'm going up the river, and I won't be back till fall. But I won't be back at all. Please make the pallet close me. Please make the pallet close behind the door. Please make the pallet close behind the door. So here, well, there you go. The night is so quiet still. Do you feel the same, old friend? So please make that. Oh. Don't have too much to add right now. What is your favorite song? Favorite song? Probably the two favorite songs. Oh, that's hard to say. Probably the two favorite songs would be that St. Louis Blues and Pallet on the Floor, which both were just played, so bit of a conundrum. Um, but maybe you can try this. Well, maybe you can try. Well, I woke up this morning about 3:45. Hesitation blues was banging at my door. Tell me how long do I have to wait? Where can I get you? Well, I ain't been to heaven, but I've been told St. Peter taught do the jelly roll. Tell me how long do I have to? Where can I get you now? Or must I hesitate? Ashes to ashes and dust to do I have to wait? Where can I get you now? Where must I hesitate? I woke up this morning about where can I stuffed my hesitation, stuck to my hesitation. You know about that. I got those hesitations. How long do I have to wait? Where can I get you now? Or must I hesitate? You like the guitarist Bill Frisell? Yeah, I do like Bill Frisell. Yeah, his kind of mm, more, slightly more, maybe as one comment could be like maybe more intuitive way of playing some of those harmonically more involved tunes, whereas sometimes possibly it could be said there can be a bit of a tendency to be a bit overly technical with some of those tunes where his playing is pretty can have that melodic quality that can sort of make it not sound too much like that more technical style of playing. And I think that can be a bit of a, could maybe be a bit of an admirable quality. And also there's some nice sorts of double stops and kind of those sorts of things where it can be sort of refreshing in that there are some things when listening to his playing when it doesn't necessarily sound like other older recordings or things like that. It has a sort of, it's kind of like different, or it seems like a bit more different. And also I think well, from the little that actually haven't listened to a whole lot of Bill Frisell, but it seems like a also pretty level-headed person too. It's the 12th string. Been kind of working on this Shake It and Break It actually. So maybe this is another opportunity to practice it or go through it. You can smoke it, you can toke it, you can smear it against the wall. Pass it over, keep it lit before it falls. You can roll it, you can shape it, you can marinate and bake it. Any way you want it, you can come and take it. About that jelly, the rule. I'll get it even. Everybody's got a jelly roll like mine. I messed around. I mean, when that sun goes down, I'll drive moonlight across town only for that jelly. With baby, don't let it fall. You can snatch it, you can grab it, roll. Run out of the store, then to your friend, you can fling it, you can wipe it and clean it. Early in the morning or any time you need it. Jelly, the roll. If they were in their right mind, they would know to stay blue all the time. It is the best jelly roll in town. I know, 'cause I've been around. But the jelly that roll, just whenever you can heat it and freeze it, and later let it thaw. Or eat it raw, you can mash it and hash it, sell it on the street and cash it, store it in the mattress and stuff it and stash it. Remember that jelly, that rule, don't let it slip and fall. Everybody's got a jelly roll like mine. I fooled around. When that sun went love that jelly, that sweet roll. Please, baby, don't let it fall. You can bring it and buy it. Just love that jelly, got a nice roll. When I'm in a jelly roll state of mind, it's sure. Love that jelly, please don't ever let it fall. Sometimes there can be so many like words, and then on top of that, usually that one's sung pretty fast. So one of the in progress ones, I suppose. Been just checking the time here. Maybe a few more, but fortunately in a way, hopefully everyone can get a good rest. Another sort of hoping to work on in upcoming sort of in the next chunks of time is this Jelly Roll Martin one where it's like c'était no con pardon c'était no con pardon c'était no con pardon. And then so then trying to harmonize. So and then there's if you don't rock, you don't get no cock. If you don't if you don't fuck, you don't have no luck. If you don't sort of on. These are a little disjointed, but then there's also there's this courthouse bump one, which is sort of instrumental. Ah. But yeah. Maybe just a couple more. I'm walking down that old lonely road, and I hung down my head and cried. I waited till I cried under the willow tree, and I swear by the deep blue sea. My mama is dead, Papa can be found, and my brothers on the county road. Says I ain't got no money, and they call me no honey. I love to weep and moan. In 1800 and 99, he got killed on a streetcar line. His head was found in the driver's wheel, and his body has never been seen. Says I have been down the long blank walk, and I'm on my way back home. I've got something to tell you that will make the hair rise on your head. I've got something to tell you that will make the hair rise on your head. I've got something to give you that will make the springs cry inside your bed. heavy hipped with the knee shaking on the bones. My sweetie's heavy hipped with the knee shaking on the bones. When the ground starts to quake, I know it is time for me to hurry home. Don't blame me, baby, for talking right out of my head. No, baby, we're talking right out of my head. It is just that I want to know how spring. Well, maybe gonna fill this up one more time, and then whoever wishes to hang and just chit chat for the next 10 minutes or so is welcome to. Would be an honor to hang around with anyone who wishes to do that. Though given the hour, I may put down the instrument so that the neighbors can have a peaceful and uninterrupted wind down of their days. So I'm gonna be right back. Just waiting for the rolling boil. This is the Coltrane on Coltrane book. Maybe we'll just do a spree of these. Nice, enjoy the food. This is John Coltrane saying, "I'd really like to get into all Duke's songs," John said weeks after the session heard here. "I have a feeling there's a lot to find out in his music. He has covered so much ground, and if you could work at it, you maybe could really relate to it in 5 years or so. I once worked with Johnny Hodges, and that was the closest I'd been to Duke before this date. They're both kings in my book." And the degrees of separation is kind of cool in that today realized that Lonnie Johnson played on some of Duke's late 20s recordings. So from Lonnie Johnson to John Coltrane. Here's another passage from a separate, I think, interview. Here's the interviewer saying, "You seem to admire Sidney Bechet a lot. You even dedicated a piece to him. Still, your ideas about the soprano sax are apparently diametrically opposed. Isn't that your impression?" John Coltrane, "You're right. Our ideas are very different. But that doesn't keep me from liking Sidney for his perfect mastery of the instrument and for everything he's brought us. Of course, it's a different age, but in 5 or 10 years, another musician will show up on the jazz scene who will completely turn over our current idea sense. If there are men who stay attached to the tradition of their time, there are others whose playing prefigures an era to come." "Is it for reasons of color and rhythm that you like Ravi Shankar?" John Coltrane, laughing, "In fact, I really like Ravi Shankar. When I hear his music, I want to copy it. Not note for note, of course, but in its spirit. What draws me closest to Ravi is the modal aspect of his art. Right now, at the particular level where I find myself, I feel like I'm going through a modal phase. I've gone through several periods, you know. There was a point when I was going through a chord phase back when I recorded Giant Steps. Now I'm in my modal phase. There's a lot of modal music that's played every day throughout the world. It's particularly evident in Africa, but whether you look at Spain or Scotland, India or China, that's what you'll find every moment. If you really want to look beyond differences of style, you'll realize that there is a common base. That's very important. Sure, British popular music is not the same as South American, but take away their purely ethnic characteristics, that is to say, their folk aspects, and you'll find yourself in the presence of the same pentatonic sound, of comparable modal structures. It's that universal side of music which interests and draws me, and that's where I want to go. Also, he named his son Ravi. One chord, it's all melody and drone. Or melody and rhythm. I think he's gonna get that going here. One second here. Go to these random stickies that were added. By this time, this is the Miles book. By this time, Train had kicked his habit cold turkey like I had, staying at his mother's house down in Philly. And man, he was playing great, sounding good with Monk. And Monk was also sounding great. Monk had a real solid group with Wilbur Ware on bass and Shadow Wilson on drums. Train was the perfect saxophonist for Monk's music because of the space that Monk always used. Train could fill up all that space with all them chords and sounds he was playing then. I was proud of him for having finally kicked his habit and he was showing up regularly for the gig. As much as I always loved Sonny's playing in my band and Art Taylor's too, it still wasn't the same for me as when I played with Train and Philly Joe. I found myself missing them. Now talking about, seems like this is the 1960s era. Wayne Shorter always also brought in a kind of curiosity about working with musical rules. If they didn't work, then he broke them, but with a musical sense. He understood that freedom in music was the ability to know the rules in order to bend them to your satisfaction and taste. Wayne was always out there on his own plane, orbiting around his own planet. Everybody else in the band was walking down here on Earth. He couldn't do in Art Blakey's band what he did in mine. He just seemed to bloom as a composer when he was in my band. That's why I say he was the intellectual musical catalyst for the band in his arrangement of musical compositions that we recorded. I was learning something new every night with that group. One reason was that Tony Williams was such a progressive drummer. He would listen to a record and memorize the whole record, all the solos, the whole thing. He was the only guy in my band who ever told me, "Man, why don't you practice?" I was missing notes and shit, trying to keep up with his young ass. So he started me to practicing again because I had stopped and didn't even know it. But man, I can tell you this, there ain't but one Tony Williams when it comes to playing the drums. There was nobody like him before or since. He's just a motherfucker. Tony played on top of the beat just a fraction above, and it gave everything a little edge because it had a little edge. Tony played polyrhythms all the time. He was a cross between Art Blakey and Philly Joe Jones, Roy Haynes, and Max Roach. Those were his idols, and he had a little bit of all their shit. But his shit was definitely his own. Ron Carter was less musical than Tony in the sense that he played what he heard. He didn't know musical forms like Tony and Herbie Hancock did, but then he had that zip that Wayne and Herbie needed. Tony and Herbie always had eye contact, but they couldn't have made it as a unit without Ron. It would take Ron 4 or 5 days to really get into something, but when he got it, man, you'd better watch out. Because that motherfucker would be laying it down and you'd better get up and play your ass off, or you're gonna be left behind and look real bad. And everybody's ego was too big for that. Tony would lead the tempo and Herbie was like a sponge. Anything you played was cool with him. He just soaked up everything. One time I told him that his chords were too thick and he said, "Man, I don't know what to play some of the time." Then Herbie, don't play nothing if you don't know what to play. You know, just let it go. You don't have to be playing all the time. He was like someone who will drink and drink until the whole bottle is gone just because it's there. Herbie was like that at first. He would just play and play and play because he could, and because he never did run out of ideas, and he loved to play. Man, that motherfucker used to be playing so much piano that I would walk by after I had played and fake like I was going to cut both of his hands off. When he first came with us, I told Herbie, "You're putting too many notes in the chord. The chord is already established and so is the sound, so you don't have to play all the notes that are in the bottom. Ron's got the bottom." But that was the only thing I had to tell him, except to do it slow sometimes rather than so fast, and not to overplay. Don't play nothing sometimes, even if you sit up there all night. Don't just play because you have 88 keys to play. Piano players and guitar players, man, they do that kind of shit. They're always playing too much, so you've always got to bring them back in. Here's one line. "The only guitar player I had heard up until this time that I liked was Charlie Christian. He played the electric guitar like a horn, and he influenced the way I played trumpet. Oscar Pettiford, the bass player, played like Charlie Christian too, and it was Oscar who introduced that concept into the way the modern bass is played. Like a guitar. Oscar and Jimmy Blanton. Charlie Christian influenced my approach to the trumpet, and Dizzy Gillespie's and Chet Baker's, and also influenced the phrasing of Frank Sinatra and Nat King Cole." Okay. Forget where it was. Someone had mentioned that one of the few people who really gave a lot of credit to Charlie Christian was Miles. And anyways, had sort of forgotten like where, because I knew he had talked about him at some point in that book, and I guess it was nice to just find that. And not to get too nerdy on the subject, but there's also a magazine interview, I think, with Thelonious Monk, and he says the only guitar player, or someone plays him like a Herb Ellis guitar recording, and he says he's asked what he thinks about it, and his response is something like, "I'm spoiled because I used to listen to Charlie Christian." also have this Art Tatum book. I'll just read a quick one here. Val's is where Sweets Edison first heard Tatum play. In Cleveland, Ohio, I was about 16 years old. This would make it 1931. I was working in a band in a nightclub, and he was working in a little place called Val's in the alley. It was just one room, and they sold whiskey in there. You know, in those days they had speakeasies, and you couldn't get in there. You had to stand on the outside, he was so popular. Especially all the musicians would take up most of the space in there because they wanted to hear him play. While he was always friendly, I don't think I knew the importance of meeting him at that time, being a teenager. But in later life, we began to run into each other like in Chicago or New York. Red Norvo heard him there a little later, sometime in the mid-1930s. He was playing in Cleveland at a little rib joint, and I had a band there, a band that was playing at the ballroom, and I used to go over and eat there. It was dark. It was an after-hours place. It was dark. You had to go in the parking lot and then go in the back, so it was a house. So the first time I heard him there, I said hello to him and everything. And he made me come and sit by the piano. And we'd have a few drinks or something, and I'd just listen. So I spent a lot of time in Cleveland there listening to him. A couple of months I played that ballroom, and he was drinking those Boilermakers, rye whiskey with a beer chaser. Oh God, how many he could put away. Here's an interesting one. Les Paul, talking about Art Tatum. I remember one night that Charlie Christian and I were up there battling on guitar with Leonard Ware. There were 3 guitar players in this town that were good. There was Leonard Ware, who played 4-string guitar, and he played damn good, real good. And they had Charlie Christian, who I knew from Oklahoma, because that's where I met him, out in Oklahoma before he ever joined Benny, and the other one, myself. The 3 of us, we'd go up there and we'd battle it out. And after that, a guy came up to me and he says, "Do you mind if I played your guitar?" And I says, "No, not at all." It was Floyd Smith with Andy Kirk. And he got up there and he broke off the neck of a bottle, and he played slide stick-fingered guitar, and he blew us all away playing slide guitar. 4-string guitar, I believe, being like a tenor guitar. He played real dirty blues, and he wiped us all out. And then when that got done, it would be 3 drummers, and when it finished 3 drummers, why, it would be 3 piano players, or 5. Roy Eldridge was up there playing one night, and he's going like a bat out of hell up there screaming, and he's way up there. And he has got the audience going crazy. Everybody in the joint's going crazy. And when he took the horn away from his lips when he was done, the people applauded, and when they stopped applauding, the note continued on. He didn't have the horn up to his mouth. And he didn't have the horn up to his mouth. He had the horn by his side, and we looked down, and standing there at the bottom of the bandstand was Dizzy Gillespie. And Dizzy was sleeping in Central Park and borrowing 50 cents so he could get something to eat. I gave him 50 cents, and my bass player gave him 50 cents, and he came in there. He'd come in there to knock off Roy, and Roy blew him away. But then he got up there and really challenged him, and again there was a fiasco. And it was a dynamite night because this kid come in, and finally Roy whipped him, and he says, "Well, I guess I'm not ready yet," and he went back into his hole. As Norvo tells it, both he, Charlie Parker, and Tatum were present on one of those early nights before Parker had mastered his instrument, when he tried to sit in with the band and was rebuffed, and then again on a later night when Parker had improved. And one night I met him, Tatum, at the Kentucky Club. And while we were there, see, this kid came in and sat in with the band, and they kicked him off the bandstand. So about a year or so later, I was back at the Mulbach Hotel, and Art was coming back from New York. You see, he took the train from New York to Kansas City, and then from Kansas City here, California. I went down to Texas, and I played Texas, and came back up to Wichita. We played a lot of college dates like Georgia Tech. I came back about a year later, still on the road, and here's Art. Gives me a call. He saw the advertisement that I was in town, and I met him at the Kentucky Club. This guy that was running the place was a saxophone player at the Kentucky Club. The guy that had been the band there came over and said, "Hey, Art, you remember that kid who was here about a year and a half ago that I threw out? Well, he's here in town. You should hear him. He's gonna come in tonight. Stay here." You probably know who I'm talking about. I was sitting with Art, see, and the guy brought him over to meet Art, and he met me with Art. Believe that's Charlie Parker. When Art Tatum came on, the trio opened with Tatum's famous version of Tea for Two. Bird was standing off stage with a big smile on his face, obviously enjoying what he was hearing. Before you knew it, Bird picked up his horn, waited until the end of a chorus, and then started playing and walking to the center of the stage at the same time. Art Tatum was shocked for a split second and then angrily said, "No, no, no, no." Bird looked a little disappointed, stopped playing, turned around, and walked off stage. After the show, the quintet was supposed to play for dancing. Bird pulled up a chair and sat right in the middle of the dance floor and played all the bebop you wanted to hear. The audience loved it. Bud Powell was drinking a lot. It was one of those periods where he was into the bottle. He loved Art. He had great respect for him. He and I used to argue about Art Tatum. It was frustrating to him. He loved Art, but he loved Charlie Parker more. He wanted to make the piano sound more like Charlie Parker than he wanted to sound like Tatum, and he succeeded in that. Here we are, all in the same bill, two young guys who'd been arguing about the merits of this older player, and Bud's whiskey told him to challenge Art. Art had just played a brilliant set, and Bud said, "Man, I'm going to really show you about tempo and playing fast. Anytime you're ready." Art laughed, and he said, "Look, come in here tomorrow. Anything you do with your right hand, I'll do with my left." Sidney Bechet once talked about the truly early days. Sometimes we'd have what they called in those days. Oh, that's just a separate thing from actually from that other book. I got a glimpse of Fats Waller in action from talking to Joe Bushkin. I had the greatest time with Fats. I was playing with Muggsy Spanier's band, and we played back to back with Fats' band on the vaudeville tour. It was a hell of a show. It sort of looked too good for the time. Well, all is good. All is good here. Hope all is good over there. All is good. Maybe one last one. That old rocking chair's coming. Cane's by my side. Fetch me that gin before I tend your hide. Gotta get out of this cabin. Gotta get out of this cabin. I can't go nowhere. I can't go no. I can't go. I can't get out of this cabin. I can't go nowhere. While I sit here grabbing the flies from my rocking chair. I don't see her yet. Where the heaven should be. Send out those chariots for an end of the trouble I've seen. That old rocking chair gets it. It ain't going nowhere. Just sitting here in my rocking chair. Or maybe this. Sometimes I wonder why I spend these lonely nights dreaming of a song, a melody haunts my memory, and I'm once again with you when our love was new, and each kiss was an inspiration. But that was long ago. Now my consolation is in the stardust of the sun, beside a garden wall, when the stars were bright, and you were in my arms. The nightingale tells us fairy tales, paradise where roses grew, and though I dream in vain, and though I dream in vain, in my heart will always remain my stardust only. Beside our garden wall, when the stars were bright, you were in my arms. The nightingale tells us fairy tales of paradise, roses grew, and though I dream in vain, my heart, love will always remain. My stardust melody, a merry love's refrain. Well, enjoy the, the reading and the upcoming weekend and all that. So, have a good day and night. And yeah, hopefully we'll reconnect in the near future. Hopefully, there won't. I don't imagine there will be such a long gap. Hopefully for the next one. So, thanks for the hangs, and I'll continue on. So, cheers. Have a good day, and until next time. Thanks.